Hello everyone, this is Kathleen and I'm happy to be here to show off this pretty apple journal. This is a journal for a special friend of mine, longtime supporter. We've known each other for years and years, and she has an apple orchard. And every year they have a big party at harvest time, and she wanted a journal that would be about her apples. And so I've made this journal for her, and she has the same initial that I do. So there's a K here on the front. I've done this beautiful collage. I have some special lampwork beads, glass beads, and wanted this to look like some wood. I've used just a recycled Reader's Digest book. She told me she wanted a book that was like my other books, and so this is pretty typical Kathleen book. So here we go. On the inside, I have just done a recycled junk mail envelope, and it just has this little collage tag here in the front, some coffee dye on the inside there. She expressed that she wanted mostly vintage ephemera in the journal, and so I have spent a lot of time. This book has taken me a long time. She's been very patient, but I've spent a lot of time collecting apple things, and just this little distressed paint chip here. I've done some hand dyeing and smushing and printing with real leaves from her apple orchard. You'll see those a little later. It's a little religious card, and let's see if I can get you to see that. Yeah, very pretty. I've just kind of made it rustic. Used some children's book illustrations, and this friend of mine has been a long time 4-H supporter, and so she spends quite a bit of time doing 4-H things with children. This is some vintage ephemera I found online, pure apple cider and cider vinegar, 1907. There's a big butterfly, could be a moth, a little bee skep. This is an altered envelope flip, so this flips out. This doesn't have apples in it, but it's red and green. It matched really well. Just some journal paper. She told me she probably wouldn't write a lot in it. This is one of the prints with the leaves from her apple trees. Some smushing. Another E.C. Pearson and Company ornamental trees. Fruit trees, some bubble printing, and another 1905 from Walter May, wholesale dealer in dried fruits, apples, potatoes, butter, eggs, oranges, lemons, bananas, etc. I thought that was kind of fun. So that fits into this pocket, and I just have this little clip to kind of hold them securely. More leaf printing. Here's a robin, because she has robins in her yard. This is a vintage postcard of apples, Cezanne. And this is a a vintage book page from a famous apple orchard somewhere in Europe. A little apple recipe card. More apple printing. Little flip. This is just a vintage little sack from True Value Hardware store. It has another vintage postcard. I don't see a date on it. And this is another just little tag with a stamp and some watercolor. Some vintage children's writing paper. More apple blossoms there. This is kind of a cool little vintage apple note card. And this is a beautiful painting by Carl Larson. He's one of my favorite artists, and this reminded me of her yard when we went to visit. Just a little tag, more vintage paper. I found an old, a used book that was all about apples, and so I've used several of those book pages in here. This is how to trim, or I can't remember the word for when you trim the trees. Yeah. Just a vintage, not vintage, a coffee dyed index card, and this just is a little flip out, a recycled greeting card there. More leaf printing, some cider, and apple pie. My friend is a wonderful cook, prize-winning cook. So this is the apple orchard in the winter, and this is just a wine label. I just thought that was kind of fun. Put in there. This is a recipe for apple bake over easy. So she can discard that if she's not interested. Some pretty drafting paper, paint chip with some texture paste. This is the apple tree in bloom in the springtime, and this is another little illustration of an orchard and a journal card. And this is a vintage, beautiful vintage greetings to a special friend, and it's just a card, but it opens all the way up with lots of room to journal something. And maybe my friend won't want to journal, but she might have others that might want to write in her book. So that goes around here, and there's another apple pie, apples, canning apples, leaf printing. This is another vintage postcard. Covered bridge in Vermont in the spring, because those are apple blossoms. just a little fold over tuck and vintage playing card. She's also a chicken expert, my friend. Isn't that pretty? I just love this beautiful painting. Having a picnic out in the yard. This little collage, A for apple. And this is an altered envelope with some vintage ephemera inside. Pastry for an apple pie. And just a little decorative card tag. This is just a little page about aphids, insects. We all deal with those. And this is another extreme peekaboo pocket and just a little journaling tag and another envelope flip. A little collage here with from an Apple catalog seed company. Just some collage there. As I say, she has the same initial that I do. So there's that in there. Just a little collage. This is a postage stamp of apples. It's a vintage tag of some kind. I'm not sure what it is, but I just did a little collage up here to decorate it. And then over here I made another little, it's like a stacked sticker, and another junk mail envelope. She is also a seamstress, so this is just a little pocket made from the sewing pattern, and it can hold more ephemera in there. This is a receipt from Monte Vista Fuel and Feed, and that will be meaningful. My friend has been on the county fair board for years and years and years, and they are a supporter of the county fair. So lots of room for pictures and records and whatever else we put in these kinds of books. It's the other part of the picnic there. And that's the end. Thanks for being with me and sharing this really special book. And I hope you got some good ideas in there for your own journal projects. We'll see you again with a new project.